I mean...
I like it.
Sorry, I have strong feelings about this.
Dropping that truth serum, Davey Woodside.
Well, thank you for being here.
Come on. Okay, come, yeah,
Who
good
else? Who else? Kev?
I mean, my first thought was Donald Trump. So, I'm stealing your answer.
So that's 2 Trump supporters. Hell is other people. Yeah. I mean, I love that notion in the show that the hell in our show is that it's everyone's own version of their own hell is behind everyone's own door. And I think that's kind of, you know, you punish yourself about the thing you feel worst about in your life, and that is basically your hell. It's just that on a repeat loop. I don't wish that on anyone. Just saying.
Except Donald fucking
Except
Trump.
Donald Trump.
Miss May.
Oh, and Miss May. Yeah. Don't even. It's not just her. I mean, they're all useless.
Aww.
Oh, hi. Hi.
Hello.
I've got 2 questions. So for all of you guys first, could you kind of like give it back to someone who has the power to do that? Maybe can we have like the Tom Ellis full versions of the songs on a CD or Spotify or whatever?
Yeah. I wouldn't be against that idea. There'd be a bonus track this season because someone else gets to sing on the show.
Ooh.
Not telling you who.
Spoiler.
Really
Don't tell anyone, okay?
Shh. What was that spoiler? Damn. Got to stop drinking at these things.
It's the beer. What's the question?
Well, I'm looking forward to that. So the second question is, have you all ever read fan fiction, and if maybe with the characters that you play that take part in the story?
I've seen some fan drawings, like Tom and I, like butt-ass naked, and I'm like, whoa, that's not in our show. I haven't read any other fanfic though.
No, I've seen a lot of the fan art,
Yeah.
like that, and there's some quite filthy people out there.
Yeah. There's like one, we have on a text thread, there's one with like, Lauren's leg is like on Tom's shoulder, like this. And then I'm for some reason the only naked one. But my thigh is like weirdly larger than like my body.
Oh, I'm sorry, I drew that. Just a little, you know.
Yeah.
But I have to say, there's some, just this weekend, some incredibly talented artists out there.
Yeah.
I don't think that it's not appreciated, because it really is. It's quite kind of, it's very, very flattering. So thank you for anyone who's drawn lovely pictures, even the sexual ones. Who's next? Ooh.
Hello. So I want no spoilers, but I just want to ask any of you who had the experience of filming with Mr. Graham McTavish, any stories to share?
Any Graham stories? Lauren's the person to ask, really, and that'll make sense when you see the season.
We have a pretty cool scene though with him, Tom, me, DB, and N-Bar. Yeah, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think if you want a tiny bit of a spoiler to do with Graham, he may play more than one character. I feel like I'm giving away way too much here. A big Netflix bolt of lightning is going to Anybody else? We've got 15 Minuten left. getting there.
Thank you for the amazing weekend, and please come all to Paris Convention next year. How would you, which perfect imperfection do you like in each other?
In each other?
Yes.
I'll start. I love that Rachel, because I've worked really closely with her, and I've seen her have, you know, being a new mother and dealing with travel and newborn babies, I've seen her have days that are tough and where she's spun out. But I love that Rachel is able to recognize that, and if she's, you know, going through something and is outwardly projecting that, she can let you know and say, I'm sorry that I was just going through my things. So she's very self-aware of what's happening with her, and I love that about her. Yeah.
My brother over there, DB, who I love to pieces, he gets in his head a little bit. He can be a bit self-critical and he can be worrying about what people think about him a bit too much. But I kind of love that about you because you really care. He really cares. He does. He's such a, he's as lovely as you think he is. It's true. He's just a big warm guy.
I was going to talk about Kevin Alejandro. I was going to say something about Kevin Alejandro. So I wanted to say something nice about Kevin Alejandro.
Alright, that's enough. How about Kevin Alejandro?
Okay, so the thing about Kevin Alejandro.
We just call him Kev from now on.
So, when I first met Kevin, when we started working together, for a long time I thought, maybe this is true, I don't know. I thought that he maybe wasn't that interested.
Say straight?
Straight. No, I thought, but the point that I'm
just say it, woman.
I know. He's extraordinarily thoughtful, and he's very, he thinks about things deeply. Does that make sense? Like he's very thoughtful, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I think I thought his silence a lot of time was because I was just so narcissistic, was thinking he doesn't care to talk to me, and I know it's going to come out of his mouth. And I really don't care to talk to you. But
it's true.
Okay.
I felt the same way. I just wasn't going to let him not be my friend. I was like, hey, Kevin.
And he doesn't have to always be on, and it's not always about him. And he's very thoughtful and kind, And so the thing that I think it's not really an imperfection, it's just that I thought he wasn't into me. You know, like didn't want to really talk to me very much at first.
I'm
when we first
totally
started.
into you.
Leslie, is it okay if we make out right now? No, so, but the thing is that I guess it's my imperfection. No, but he's the kindest, most thoughtful and caring person. And you can see that by the wife that he has and also by their son, Caden, who they're just very kind and tender-hearted.
Thank you, Rosa. I actually do get that a lot. People kind of misunderstand me a little bit because I do get silent. It's mostly because I don't know what to say. No, but it's it's totally not it. I'm more of an observer. I take it up here and I have a great time because you guys feed me such great energy and we love you and want to be there for you. But we all go through our things, and I love people and I love watching people and I love listening to people, and that's just kind of who I am. Yes, and thank you for knowing that. And I think that being said about myself is one of the things that I relate to Lauren German with her. I'm going to talk about her perfect imperfection. I think she's a little bit similar in that way. She gets a little bit of social anxiety and things like this are tough for her, but she pulls through, and everything for her comes from a place of kindness and respect and from pure heart. And I like to think that that's where I live as well. So that is my favorite perfection about her. It's not an imperfection to me.
Wait a second. All right. So because I want to talk about the other two people up here, and that's Tom and Leslie Ann. And
oh, right.
So, but what I want to say is, and I'm going to try not to get emotional while saying this, but I really cannot think of an imperfection in Tom. And what I mean by that is, I have never been around someone, worked with someone like him, who, damn you.
DB's a bit of a crier.
When he always cares about you. It doesn't matter how crazy work is, what's going on. If he sees, if he sees that you're having a hard day or a rough time, he always makes the time to just check in with you. Always. Leslie Ann, LA, who I have known for years. This is her beautiful perfection. She's a fighter. She is one of the strongest fucking people in the world. But what she doesn't like everyone to know is that with all of that strength, her heart, she is a gummy bear. She is a gummy bear. And she hates for people to know this, but she is one of the sweetest. She cannot stand for people to know that. So you see this fighter all over Twitter. She's fighting, and she's always, by the way, I'm always in agreement with her when she's having these fights, so but she's such a fighter, but when you just really get to know her, that core of hers is just so soft and gushy and emotional, and it's amazing. It's just amazing.
Don't tell Paolo she's got a soft core. He'll go mental.
Thanks.
Well, we're all a mess, so thanks for that.
No. My question is...
This is going to be the last question, okay?
So good, man. It's a question to all of you. When you started to do the show, all of you got a script, a description of the character you will play, and I'm pretty sure that you built a very specific picture of the person or one person you are playing. Did that picture of your own characters change during these last seasons? Do you see them differently now?
I think it changes season to season. I think the writers work very hard to peel back layers with each character and to put them in situations that kind of force you as the actor to look at them through a different lens or from a different point of view. So I think, for me as MagicCon, I didn't think vulnerability would be as much of a part of her character as it is. And you're right, it's the best part about her, actually. It's that the fight comes easily, but like Leslie Ann, because she, the soft side she tends to protect. Yeah, I think for maybe all of our characters, we might feel that way.
I think that's part of the reason why what I love about the show actually is that the characters have all evolved. None of our characters have stayed in a stationary position. Everyone's had a journey, and the way in which they've realised that, the interaction that's come about because of that journey is what's kept the show alive. And I don't mean alive on our screens, but I mean it's got life to it because it's not. None of our characters are in a place that they stay for too long. There's constant evolution. So that's I think all of us would say that our characters are very, very different from our starting point. But I think in any great story, that's what you want to do. You don't want to, go back to the same thing every week, week in, week out.
I agree, though, but I think the same is to be said about you, me, her, him, her. Each individual, we don't stay the same through life, and I think the fact that the further that we go into creating life for these characters and circumstances, you chip away at yourself and you change according to the way you're affected by whatever it is, society,